Hey there everybody, just returning to the Ad Hoc. Here we have it all spray painted up, so the white is now in line with the other buildings I've done before. This is all going to be part of the same district region as the H pattern habitation block that I've done. So it's got these kind of white walls. I've also sprayed the doors grey, so they're going to get painted separately. And really I just need to do the roof and the interior floors. Okay, just to give you some idea of the wall texture, I'll just give you a zoom. So you can just see it's got a kind of slightly speckly quality to it, but I'm quite happy with that. I don't actually want even tones, I don't want it to be flat white, I just would have left it as the raw material if I wanted it like that. Personally, spray paint, I mean, again, if you are an airbrusher you can probably do this a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, but I'm not necessarily always looking for cleanness and niceness. I do want it to look good, but I find that bits of texture add rather than subtract, because in some respects it's easier to get an immaculate surface on a smaller thing than a larger thing. But if you look at big things in real life, they tend to have these very irregular surfaces, often very patchy, and although that might not look right in modelling, it's kind of more realistic. So again, it just keeps it easy for me from that point of view. The only thing I will do is I will tart up the indoors parts and maybe do a bit with the more visible interior surfaces. The exterior surfaces are probably just like concrete or what have you, or equivalent material, so it doesn't matter if they're kind of these speckly things, but I quite like the insides maybe to be a bit cleaner, but we'll see how that goes as it comes up. So here's the doors. I've just undercoated them grey effectively just at the same time as I was spraying the rest of the building, because it was convenient. It's an easy way of underpainting everything. It gets everything underpainted. But what I will also do is I will paint these up slightly differently. So I'll paint these up black and white so it looks like Japanese housing. I'll probably paint this one up so it looks like beaten up metal. And I will probably paint these up so it's almost like they have glass panels in them. Or maybe not, I might even make it so it's like poster holders in the door almost. So that maintains the opacity in the doors for the purposes of gameplay. Then in order to paint the floors this time, rather than using my lovely expensive paint, which seems a bit wasteful on this kind of task, I've gone and just bought some cheap emulsion tester pots. These pots cost like £1 each. And I'm going to use them for floor paints. Probably going to leave interior walls white, shockingly. Certainly in interior spaces you should always paint roofs white on the interior. And also you should maybe paint the walls different colours. But again, like I said, I'm not actually too fussed about the walls. I might go and hit the ceiling up and clean that up. So as you can see, the roof here is a bit speckly. I quite like this to be flat, even white, so it emulates a proper ceiling inside a building. Most buildings you'd have a clean white ceiling. The other thing I might do is use 2 of the tester pots for floor colours and use the other tester pot as a wall colour, and maybe just paint the walls on the interior of this upstairs floor. Either that or just paint all of these walls in white and then put in some details on the interior where the panelling is. This is the roof, terrace and interior, all floors painted and rooftop painted. I've gone in for the light green on top of the terrace. I'm going to weather this. I'm not really happy. It's a bit bland, it's a bit too sort of light and greeny and not enough sort of mucky. So I'm going to make it look a little bit like mossy and like a building's been there for a while. The roof is grey at the moment, but as ever with the roofs, they will turn black so it fits in with all of the others. And as you can see, the interior has now got pink floors, like pink linoleum again. None of the surfaces have been etched, mostly because I just didn't think to do it before I assembled everything, which was a bit daft of me. If you are going to etch floors in particular, make sure you do it pre-assembly, because it will only be a nightmare if you're partway through the assembly process. So yeah, I'm going to ink all of these floors, but the exterior floor is going to get weathered, and I'm going to make it look sort of a bit algae or and mossy. End up with a bit of flock and such in the corners and so forth to make it look like there's proper moss growth. And the roof will go black, as I said. So I will get these done and I will be back with you in a mo. Here's the terrace all weathered up, moss put into the corners, running around all the bottom edges of things. If it's been around and maybe not looked after as well as it could be. The roofs are now black and the interior floors are now washed into this sort of muddy, ruddy pink colour, so it all looks a bit more worn and used. So final thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to run sort of dirt around the bottom edge of the whole building in sort of maybe just a brown stain or what have you, and maybe apply some of that brown stain around the bottom edges of the interior edge as well. So I'm just going to crack on with that and I'll show you the finished thing in a mo. So there you have it, just the bottom edge of the building's got its last bit of wear and tear. It's just a bit of brown stain around the bottom edge. A bit has also been applied up on the terrace here, just to bring the two things in line. So final phases then, I've just painted in the walls here, it's interior ceiling, sorry, white, just to create that separation between ceiling and walls, because normally walls are a bit dirtier than ceilings. Ceilings should be a bit whiter. And then just sort of final details. So I've just painted in this runner, and if I flip this around on the interior, I've also just painted in a couple of details. So I've just got that line, horizontal line, which is actually from where the little roof, pitch roof out at the front, connects through the wall. I just think this is a nice little detail, along with, you can't see it from this angle, but there's a looking in through the side of the building view, just so you can see that you've sort of got these two black stripes. It just gives a little bit of interior decoration, brings the interior to life a little bit. So there you have it, the Ad Hoc building itself complete, interior details done, interior ceilings painted white, floors painted, and aging effects completed. I hope this has been some use to you. I hope you enjoy your painting, your modelling, and you're making things which are even more awesome than I'm making. Take care everybody and have a good one. Bye bye.